Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the third part of What If Deku Was Sanji's Reincarnation, My Heroes Reborn. The author of this great fanfic is Emma. I believe links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 3, The Cavalry Arrives. The two students in their feral states looked at the strange creature in front of them. If either were in their right mind, neither would want to fight it. However, both were in a feral state with new skills and memories forced upon them. One a great pirate and the other a warrior mage. Both of them ready to fight. Izuku's leg was on fire as he kicked Momo hard, however it didn't seem to affect it. However, Momo then rammed the battle axe into its shoulder, however it just regenerated from the wound. So what are Nomu's quirks? Asked Priestess. Super regeneration and shock absorption. Explained Shigaraki. I guess I underestimated him. Said Priestess, unless Haki is able to overpower the shock absorption. What is Haki? Asked Shigaraki. It's a power from his original world. Will power or ambition given form in power? Said Priestess. What? Said Shigaraki. Why do you think I snapped? Because of him. Said Priestess. So another orchestra rave. Said Shigaraki. I wish. Said Priestess, the girl is another orchestra rave. Using her quirk to regain what she lost through reincarnation. Him on the other hand, he lost nothing through reincarnation, everything he had was pure skill. Just why we need to get rid of him. Said Shigaraki. Meanwhile, Momo dropped the battle axe and created a rather large spear. However, before she could attack Nomu, the strange creature ready to punch. However, Izuku pulled her out the way in time. His leg once again turned back and he managed to get a good hit into the Nomu. It looks like the shock absorption is weak against Haki. Muttered Priestess. What? Said Shigaraki. Just run out the clock, just run out the clock. Muttered Priestess, having another breakdown, though small this time. As she said that, however, the entrance door suddenly exploded. They saw the figure standing in the doorway. It was the hero, All Might. Have no fear. Called out All Might, because I am here. All Might. Said 13. I heard about Priestess. Said All Might, looking grim. He gritted his teeth. Flashback. As Ida continued running, he saw All Might headed that way. He explained to All Might about the villains. I see. I had a bad feeling about it when I couldn't get in contact with them. He explained. That's not all, I was told to warn about a villain called Priestess who used her quirk on my classmates. Said Ida. What? Yelled All Might. It's true, Uraraka, Midoriya, Yaoyorozu, Ojiro and a student I'm unsure about all fell victim. Said Ida. Keep going. I have to get to the USJ. Said All Might. It was clear he was extremely angry and Ida continued on his way. End of flashback. Have they fought? Asked All Might. I have confirmed both Midoriya and Uraraka. But only them so far. Explained 13, and neither indiscriminately. All Might nodded. He noticed Ochako still trying to escape the tape, but Siro was trying to make sure she didn't escape. He knew he had to fight the remains of the villains. He ran over as fast as he could in his current state. Which was still pretty damn fast. Of course the villains saw that he was here. So All Might did show up after all. I guess we gotta continue. Said Shigaraki. Yeah, but we still need to get rid of those two. Said Kurogiri, referring to Izuku and Momo. I will be more aware of my surroundings this time. Said Priestess, snapping out her latest breakdown. Kurogiri nodded, knowing she meant. All Might watched the two students fight off Nomu, unsure how to react. However, suddenly Izuku was tackled by Priestess, then suddenly Kurogiri surround Momo with his mist. Sorry, but those two pests. Said Shigaraki, Nomu. Take care of him. And so Nomu began to fight All Might. Priestess watched the fight that the symbol of peace was having with the strange creature. "I won't kill you," she said, taunting the boy. "Understand her, I still think life is precious, after all I've seen so many deaths, including yours. But don't worry, someone else will take you out once you enter stage 3. Izuku struggled under her. He tried lifting his leg, but he just couldn't attack. "Sorry, but we both know you can't hit women," said Priestess with a smirk. She then looked up. She saw 5 students had gathered. Bakugo had attacked Kirojiri armor, his one weak point, unless hitting him with haki, while Kirishima had managed to strike Priestess, getting her off of Izuku. "Not again," muttered Priestess. The other 3 students were Todoroki, Kaminari, and Kyoka. "Hey, Todoroki, what's with the party hat?" asked Kaminari, trying not to laugh. "I had no idea this was on me," he said, taking it off. "Seriously?" asked Kyoka. Both Momo and Izuku got up. Izuku looked at the Nomu and All Might fight. It wasn't going good for All Might. Nomu had All Might in its grip, the spot of his scar. He would have glared Kirishima, however his instincts were telling him that this was more important than hurting a woman. Izuku once again activated his haki with his leg turning black. He ran towards the fight. However, he suddenly collapsed, as did Momo. Both of them passed out. "Oh. Look like time's up," said Priestess. At the entrance, Ochako finally passed out. At the landslide zone, all the partying stopped as Toru fell to the ground unconscious. In the fire zone, Ojiro finally fell. Back in the main plaza. "What just happened?" asked Kaminari. "I managed to get all the information about what's going on," muttered Todoroki. "It's her quirk, after a certain amount of time her targets pass out." "It's true," said Priestess. "It finally overwhelmed their bodies after it overwhelmed their minds." Priestess looked at them and smirked. It should now be pointed out that her hair was long and she had a black ribbon tied in her hair. She untied the ribbon. "I really didn't want to use this against children, but I have no choice," she said. It was clear that the ribbon was a weapon of some kind, and all of them prepared for it. Except for Bakugo, who was focused on Kirojiri. She stretched out the ribbon and grabbed it by his arm, flinging him away and getting him off the amorphous cloud man. "You bitch!" yelled Bakugo as he landed hard into the ground. "Now, you have to get rid of Blackleg and Titania," said Priestess. "After all, I hate to see them grow up to be heroes." "No!" yelled Shigaraki. They watched as All Might delivered several blows to Nomu and then launched him out of the facility. "You know what? I'm getting rid of all pretense," yelled Priestess. "Today's a shitty day. And I'm out. I'm just fucking out." She took out a wad of cash out of her kimono. Kirojiri sighed, and he created a warp for her, knowing what it meant. "I apologize for everything," she muttered. "I'm unsure if the Nomu thing would have happened if I wasn't here, but I apologize for the future monster hero and the other powerful hero I just created." "Just leave it on the bar," muttered Kirojiri as Priestess went through the warp. "Thanks. If you're not back in a half hour, all I say I can't make any promises," said Priestess as she went through. The students watched as the villain who targeted their classmates disappeared. Shigaraki glared at All Might, struggling with what just happened, and scratching his neck. Kirojiri walked over to him. "Priestess has already left," said Kirojiri. "Of course she left," muttered Shigaraki. "This is game over." That was when he was shot. At the entrance, the other teachers had arrived with Ida. One of them ran over to Ochako. "Priestess," said 13. "We heard," said the hero who was named Ectoplasm. Shigaraki was shaking after all was said and done. Kirojiri knew that they had to flee with the pros arrived. He looked at All Might, and noticed steam coming from him. "All Might!" yelled Shigaraki, de-icing to have a speech before he left. "This isn't over for the League of Villains. One day we will kill you. You might be the symbol of peace. But for how much longer? With that, both villains were warped away. All Might breathed a sigh of relief, glad that the teachers arrived sooner than later. He also knew that his form would last much longer. He saw that the 5 students that came to help were looking right at him in awe. Shit, this is bad, he thought. Thankfully, another of the teacher Cementos created a wall between him and the students. Hey, why did you do that? Shouldn't we see if All Might is okay after that fight? Yelled Kaminari. Then he was jabbed in the face by Kyoka's earphone jacks. He shouldn't be the one we should be worried about, she said. They looked at their unconscious classmates and teacher. We'll find everyone in the class and explain what's going on, said Cementos. We can only hope that at least one of them will continue their education. What's that supposed to mean? Yelled Bakugo. We'll explain when everyone is gathered, said Cementos. Meanwhile, in a bar, Priestess was holding her middle finger to her forehead while waiting for Kurogiri's return. She wasn't expecting them to be back less than a minute. So you decided to leave the thugs, said Priestess. Then she noticed the gunshot wound. Where's the first aid kit? Sighed Priestess. Why would I want your help? Said Shigaraki. Because life is precious, including gamer trash, said Priestess. What did you say? Asked Shigaraki, especially since I've seen you hit the bottle when things go wrong. 3 times. And yes, I'm counting now, said Priestess. Stop fighting, you two, said a voice. They both turned to a TV with a captain saying, voice only. I do have some interesting news to report before we started our stupid bickering, said Priestess. Why, I can't look into the memories of my targets clearly. I've been working on figuring out ways to expand my quirk. I'm starting to be able to sense connections between souls in this life. So what does that mean? Asked Shigaraki. I was sensing an odd connection between All Might and the monster I unleashed, she explained. A connection? Asked the voice. I don't know what it is, but it's strong, said Priestess. I see, it's a good thing that you came back then, said the voice. What do you think the connection is then? Said Kurogiri. I might have a theory, said the voice. The 3 continued to discuss things with the voice about the League of Villains, with it being clear that Priestess would be a higher ranked member going forward. Even if in a sense she made things worse for the group. Back at the USJ, they found all of the targets of her quirk. They had managed to find the other 2 students who fell victim to Priestess' quirk. With all of the students found sage and gathered, it was decided that Principal Nizu would explain what had happened to the students. Their past lives? Seriously? Asked Kaminari. Yes, it's true, said Principal Nizu. 13 gave us the same explanation, said Shoji. Does the reincarnation give the targets new powers? Asked Mina. No, it shouldn't. It is said that it does help the targets gain muscle mass in order to handle their soul's fighting style. It shouldn't give new abilities unless it's physical based or could replicated by their quirk, said Nizu. Those that watched Izuku fight were gaping. How strong was he in his past life? Yelled Mineta. Oh man! Did you see him fly like that? How did he do that? I couldn't even get a hold of him, yelled Siro. Seriously, that pathetic weakling? Asked Bakugo. You weren't there, said Mina. You didn't see what he did. Bakugo just gritted his teeth. Unfortunately, we don't know if your classmates will continue their education, sighed Nizu. About 94% of her victims stop being heroes. You're kidding, yelled Ida. Why? Asked a student with a bird-like head named Fumikage Tokoyami. They'd gained the memories of completely different lives, and not only that, but more often than not of a completely different world. With the emotional baggage of their past lives. They know what it is like to die, to live a completely different life. Usually if the hero was a fighter of some kind or feel like that their past lives were no different hero work, then they continue. Usually if they fight back they will continue hero work. However, considering their age, I don't know, said Nizu. So they're going to quit? Asked Kyoka. Not necessarily, said Nizu, but we can't rule that out. We won't know until they're awake and their minds clear, which would be for until sometime tomorrow or the day after. The students were quiet. However, I already have a plan to help them. After all, not every hero quit being a hero, said Nizu. Afterward he told them about Aizawa's state and that he is going to be okay. After doing a few other things including telling the police that they could search the school, he called his top choice for who could help the students. Elsewhere at a hero agency. A hero in his mid-20s with blonde hair wearing with some sort of blue visor on forehead, a set of headphones around neck, was on the computer looking up some sort of blueprints. There's a call from UA for you, said a somewhat robotic female voice. UA? Why are they calling? Asked the hero. Don't ask me, I'm not psychic, responded the voice. The hero touched a button nearby. You got me, said the hero. Hello, this Principal Nizu from UA, said Nizu on the other line. Yeah, I figured when UA called me, said the hero. Aiko told me. That assistant is really quite amazing, said Nizu on the other end. Let me guess, you want me to give a lecture for the support course, said the hero. I wish that was the reason why I was contacting you, sighed Nizu. Why are you calling me? Said the hero. There was an incident at one of faculties, a group that calls itself the League of Villains attacked while students were there, explained Nizu. Is about wanting Aiko to help, or is there another reason you're calling? Said the hero. One of the villains that attacked Priestess, explained Nizu. What? Yelled the hero. Wait. You said students were there? Did she attack any of the students? 5 students fell victim to her quirk, said Nizu. What year? Asked the hero. First years, I'm afraid, said Nizu. You have got to be kidding me, muttered the hero. I take it, you to hire me as a special counselor for them. I mean, I am considered to be the unofficial leader of her victims who remained heroes. Yes, said Nizu, precisely the reason why I asked. Of course, you don't have to take it. No, I want to, said the hero. Thank you so much, said Nizu. We'll work everything out when you get here. All right. Later, said the hero. See you soon, said Nizu. The call ended. So, I'm guessing a group of some kind, said Aiko. Yeah. I'm already getting ideas, said the hero. Call Yuzu. I need to ask her a favor. Right away, said Aiko. With the USJ incident past, the 5 students would have to deal with their new memories, and thankfully they will have someone who knows exactly what they are going through. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 4. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.